So, this first part, I'm going to give you those, but then we're going to go over any questions you have and the time frame that we have. And then tomorrow, you'll be taking your quiz, and I'll explain how that will work tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll go over the quiz, and each time we do a quiz, it'll kind of repeat like that. And then on Monday, you guys will take your tests. So it will kind of repeat like that. If you don't finish on Monday, then you'll have Tuesday as well. Alright, so this first part, you need to put which symbols are indicated by the words. So sum, which one would that be? Plus. Product. Multiplication, I'm just going to put a dot. Decrease by. Minus subtraction, yes. Quotient. Division. So I'm going to put the division sign, but remember that we're using the fraction. Increase by, plus, difference, minus, more than, plus, less than, minus, twice something. Right, and numbers 10 through 19. So this is taking your algebraic expressions and writing them into words. Are there any of those we want to see, do, go over, have questions about?
Can you do the first, the 10?
10, sure. So these are multiplying. Someone give me a word that means to multiply. Sure. So I could make this as simple as possible. A times B. Remember that you could use all of the different words. It just has to make sense mathematically and in English. Any other ones in this section we want to see you go over?
Number 17.
Okay. So here we are multiplying. We would eventually multiply the 1/2 to everything inside the parentheses, and we're adding. So let's start with the. How could we say we're multiplying the 1/2 to everything?
1/2 times everything.
You would say times all or times the sum of. We could do that. 1/2 times the sum of. And then because we said the sum of, we already know that we're going to be adding. Yes. So we would just put, you can either put x and y, or you can put a number and a different number. You could say a number x and a different number y. All of those different things. I'm just going to say x and y. Okay. Any others in that first section? 13. Okay. Only one thing is happening here. It's being cubed. So you could just say m to the power of 3, m cubed, either or. Any others? Now let's go on to the next section. 20 through 35. Any of those we want to see, do go over, have questions about? 28. And how many, what did you say? 27. So let's do those first. We'll do 27 and 28. 1/2 the product of x and y. So the wording here is very specific. We know we have 1/2. we know we have 1/2. We know the product of means we're going to multiply x and y together. And 1/2 is being multiplied to all of that. So in parentheses, we need x and y. Remember that we don't need the dot in between. We can just put them next to one another.
If you put the dot there, is that wrong?
So for this unit, I won't mark that wrong. I'll just say, remember to try to avoid this. But for next unit, we want to stop that completely, unless it's absolutely necessary. The product of, so again, multiplication, and it tells us the next two things are what we're multiplying, twice A and B. Because twice is being multiplied to A, I'm going to put that in parentheses. Or you could put B in parentheses, either or for that one, really, it doesn't matter. Other ones in that section.
I have a question. So what did you put parentheses in number 27? Because it doesn't say 1.5 times all.
Right, but because it says the product of, it's saying 1/2 times everything else. Any others in that section?
31.
31, okay. So twice a number, we know we're multiplying. Increase by adding. 3 times multiplying again the number. Because it didn't say a different number, we're going to use the same variable for both. So twice a number, someone give me a variable, sure, plus 3 times the number. Now if we were simplifying, we would combine like terms, but we are not doing that right now, we are just translating.
Is it fine if you put the parentheses to be plus 3?
For this one? The parentheses, so you mean like around one of them?
Like around the
For this test, for this quiz, yes. For moving forward, we don't need that. Any others in the section? So that is all of your translating, the first objective. Just in case you didn't do this in middle school, each objective, translating, simplifying, evaluating, will be its own grade, its own quiz grade, its own test grade. Meaning 3 quiz grades, 3 test grades. This is part of the simplifying. There may be 1 to 2 questions.
How many
of
questions?
this on the quiz or on the test. On the quiz, there are 6 questions. Test is more than that. I don't remember exactly how many. I think it's 5 to 6 questions per objective. Right. Any of these we want to briefly go over? Number 1. So this one is a little different than what we did before because this has a different key. So whatever, if you're given a key, use whatever that says. So here, the big square is x squared like it was before, but here the rectangle is xy, and the small square is y squared. Anytime it's shaded, that's going to be your negative. So if we were doing this first one, how many x squares do we have? 2. How many xy's do we have? 2. And they're negative. And then how many y squares do we have? Now, in this case, we said exponent, highest exponents first, but it also has to be ABC order. So this would be fine, but if you switched it and wrote it like this, I would accept that as well. Now, most likely in math, you'll see it the first way more than the second way, but for this quiz, this test, I would accept it. Any others on this page?
Do we need to combine like terms in there?
Do we have any like terms? If we had like terms, then the answer would be yes. But this was just simply modeling. Any others on this page? Go on to the next page.
Isn't it 3?
Yes. put a 3. Right, the next page is similar, but now it's given you the expression and you have to model it using the tiles. So this would be you drawing it. Any of these you want to see, do go over. Not go on to the next page. And then here are some more simplifying expressions. Some of these are just really combining like terms, not really distributing. The next page is more distributing fractions, stuff like that. So we'll start with this first page. Any questions on this page? One, sure. Right, so here we are combining like terms. We have a bunch of x's. So this would be, remember that there's an invisible 1 in front of anything that does not have a number. So you would add 1 minus 7 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And figure out what that is. This would be one, you wouldn't really need to show this process. I'm just showing what you would do. You in your calculator could add all of these up, / subtract the 7 in your calculator and just tell me what that would be. You wouldn't get it.
Do we have to do like 1 times -7?
Not times. You're adding or subtracting. Here. That's the only thing you're doing this for this one. You should put that all in your calculator at the same time. 1 minus 7 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. What would that be? -3. And then we just have to remember to put the x behind it. So again, you could have done that in your calculator and just said that was -3x. Again, you won't get a question like that. This is like the most basic form. Any others on this page? Next page. Questions on this page? What's up here? 3. Was yours going to be 3?
No.
Did you have a different one? Okay. 9. Alright. So number 3, be careful here. Do not do anything with this exponent. It's with the x, it's not with the 3. Here we would need to multiply the -5 and the 3, bring everything else down.
So I have a question. So what do we do on the last page? Like what do we do?
Why didn't you multiply?
Yeah, because it happens 16.
It does have parentheses, but it has this plus and this minus. So we were just adding those together or subtracting. But here we don't have, this is like -5 right next to the parentheses, so we have to multiply. Okay. Look for like terms. Do we have any? Yes. So then combine those two. What do we get? 17, excellent. Questions on that one before we do 9?
So it would be positive 13 if the 2 was first.
Say that one more time.
It would be positive 13 if the 2 was first.
If this was first, if this was, right, but we're not multiplying. So we're subtracting. So we're starting at -15. So think about this number line up here. We're starting at -15 and we're going back. 9, what would be our first step?
1 over 3 times 24.
Say that one more time.
1 over 3 times 24.
And 18. We're going to distribute. We can also do negative 1/4 times 16 and negative 36. So that part you can do in your calculator, or if there's a 1 up here, it's the same thing as 24 divided by 3, negative 18 divided by 3, 16 divided by negative 4, negative 36 divided by negative 4. You do that however you so choose. Tell me what those new terms would be. One-third or times 24x would give us and multiplying 8x minus 6y. What would this next part be? Negative times a negative, that would be a positive. So plus 9y. And then combine like terms. When we combine our like terms, what would we get?
X
3 what?
3y.
There we go. And that was your answer. Alright, so don't get tripped up by the fractions. It's the same process as before. Just distribute, multiply. Use your calculator to double check. So the next page should be this. Now this is just more of what we were doing yesterday, evaluating. Which of these, if any, do we want to see? Do you go over? Have questions about? There, some of them aren't going to. I was thinking they were, but.
It's right.
Number 2, 4. So for number 2, we have x equals 81. We're going to put 81 underneath the square root. Figure out what the square root of 81 is. Say that one more time. 12 plus 9. And then if we add those together, we would get right, really quickly in your calculator, I'm going to show you because you won't have decimals. So you could do it as we did it in that first step, 4 plus the square root of 81. You get your answer. This is to double check yourself, put the numbers in, or you can put it in as the variable, which was x. But in order to put something in as x, so we didn't have to put this the other day, I want 81 to be x. So I'm going to type in, everyone do this, 81. And then I'm going to hit this STO about on. And then I'm going to hit my x. And then enter. What that did was put 81 in x's place. So that way when I redo this, so I'm going up to grab this, but you may have to type it in. Actually, let me just type it in. 4 plus the square root of x. Now it will solve it as if x is 81. So you can do it with a variable, you can do it with just a number, that is completely up to you. Say that one more time. Second plus 7, 1, 2.
How do I write the square root?
Square root is in blue above x squared, so second x squared. Any others that we want to see on the evaluating? On this page or the next?
Either on the phone.
We're going to put both of these in, 4 and 6, into B and A. We have 4 times. Be careful here, they switch the variables. So make sure you're not just putting in the variables, put them where they go. Right. And then order of operations, what would we do first?
4 times 6.
4 times 6. We can also do 3 times negative 3 times 4. And then what would we do next? Subtract. There's nothing else left to do here. Also, when you're doing your absolute value bars, make sure you make them bold or something so that you don't confuse this for 112 or 1,121. That has happened before, so just be careful with that. Drop your absolute value bars, make them, you don't even need parentheses for this one because it's positive and we're not multiplying. So that our final answer would be close. Okay, I'm going to show this again in the calculator, but now I'm going to use 2 different variables. So we want A to be 4 and B to be 6. I'm going to type 4 STO, and then I want A, so that's in green, alpha times A, enter. I'm going to do the same thing for B, 6 STO, I need B is in green, so alpha times B, enter. And then I want to type in that entire expression with my variables. And again, you could have just done this with the numbers as well. That would have also worked. So absolute value, alpha, window. And then I want 4B, so alpha B, minus 3A, so alpha A. And then I'm going to come outside of the absolute value and go minus alpha. That is the answer we have.
So the percentage is 4, and then STO, and then alpha.
Alpha and then A. Any other evaluating questions or any questions in general about the quiz, about any of the topics, anything like that? I need you all to do this survey thing that got sent to me. So give me 2 seconds so I can find it.